Hello and welcome, my name is Trismegistus and this is the second of my Let's Play series of Space Age. Factorio Space Age, that is, obviously. Last time we made a little bit of a good start. We had to do a bit of combat because there were some sneaky biters quite close by. And I built two lots of my, what would you call it, my blueprints that I have from a blueprint series that I did on my live streams. The reason for that is it turns out blueprints work, and because there's not actually been that many recipe changes, they just work, basically. So, one of the things we have to be careful of is more biters, but we should be okay for a little while. We have a couple of radars scanning out and seeing what's close by. The big aim for today, really, is to kind of get a, let's call it a mall or a minibus or something like that up and running. The aim would be to have that running across here because we have kind of bonus iron, copper, iron, coal, stone. So the idea is going to be to run it in that direction. Hopefully we'll eventually reveal around and we'll have a nice area here to do something more like a proper bus for when we want to launch rockets. The intention is for the minibus that we do, the mall, to basically keep going throughout the entire duration of this playthrough, pretty much. It will need upgrading. Some of it will need replacing and things like that. What I did want to try and do, because we've unlocked a few techs, that's good. We want to see how many stone furnaces we've got and that we need. What I can also do... Oh, the other thing I did, just sneakily... that's not the right one, there we go. Kind of sneakily, I've not got it linked on the hotbar, have I? No. Is I copied over, hopefully, the rail blueprint that I made. This one here, version 2 simple rail. This is the rail blueprint I made in my other playthrough. It took ages, I'll be frank. I mentioned before, the angles kind of broke my brain and it ended up being very simple. So it really is a very simple rail system. 111 trains, straight bit, corner bit, T-junction bit, crossroads bit, A diagonal, that's at 45 degrees, that's the simple one. And a joiner onto that, and a joiner onto the other way, splitter. This is like the template, so that I can position things if I need to build more. We've then got my universal train setup that I've done, and also some loading and unloading stations. So that's pretty much hopefully going to carry us, I don't know why I escaped out of that, throughout the game. I escaped again. But yes, what I wanted to do here is put in some, miners. We can only make, we got 10, okay. And get a bit of belt so that we can start feeding this here. About ammo. So we got a nice 100 there. Okay. How about we have a look? So we will just top these up. Then I will. Because didn't we do green science? I think we've done green science, so I can set those. Yes, there we go. But these are kind of empty, aren't they? Okay. So these are only approximate ratios, so it's not intended that thing. It does make us a lot of inserters and stuff though, which we're going to need for these furnace stacks. I'll probably build like half stacks to start with. If you didn't know, when there's power pods in a blueprint, you can just sort of run across, because obviously it normally does them at the max length. But if they're in a blueprint, it'll just fill them in where they've been placed. I kind of wish they extended that functionality a bit to things like belts. Very useful when you're pre-bot. Hopefully I've said already, but the intention is to kind of bot rush. As quickly as we can. That's an unfortunate place for those power bars, isn't it? Let's pick all that up. Because we could just extend this line instead. Just putting in odds and sods on it. Excellent, there we go, that's more like it. That's what we like to see. So we will get, oh, you're out of hole there. Okay. Do I want to pick these up? It's a little bit risky. I think I'm just going to move them. And maybe we'll leave a smaller stack. So, if we go on here, and we use that, no. Oh, is that not my... Huh. I do have a smelting mining one there. Oh, I can't do it from that menu. It's one of my few criticisms. You can't access your inventory now from map view. Because when you hit the E key... So in this obviously hit E key, it brings up your menu, normal view. You go into map view, what it brings up is a ghost selector, essentially. So what you're doing in here is you're actually picking the item that you want to ghost. So that's a ghost of pipes. Initially I thought there was some bug with deconstruct, because this is obviously showing you ghosts like it's a blueprint. Yeah, but in a blueprint you would normally just a single quick right click would undo the build, but it doesn't. As you can see, it's doing the building menu. But if you hold it down, it goes into a sort of a delete mode, and you can just undo them in a row, which I don't know. I'm not a fan of it for having inconsistent behaviours still, but I say sort of once I'd figured that out. And why am I not using the template? That's the rail one again. In fact, can I move those around a bit? I think I can. Let's put that there. So, wait. It's called Smelting and Blueprint. Oh, it's because it's got the outposts on it. That's what's confused me. Yeah, obviously, but obviously on your hotbar, you can access them normal, you see. So it's all a bit, except I can't pick that up, you see. It's all a bit sort of slightly inconsistent, and it keeps tripping me up. Oh, I've done it again. There, thank you. Wow, that was painful. So what are we trying to do? We're trying to do that, and we want that one, and we then want to go to menu. Then we want to go to map, not menu. And that then allows me to hold a blueprint that's, you know, I mean, it happens to be on there, but say it's all a bit sort of, could do with some tweaks. I kind of said before, I'm not convinced there's anyone with a sort of UI UX background in the Factorio team, so I don't know, it could do with a little bit of rethinking, I think. Apologies if one of them does have that background and I've just completely slagged them off, basically. But I say it all has the feel of a software engineer botching it together, if I'm honest. Right, so let's get some miners on here. See how many bits of belt we need / are short by. It's probably a little bit close to the water, that, because it'd be nice to run it past. We have a second line past there, basically, but we shall see. Put that there. Do this quickly, as we only have a little bit of power in them. Thankfully, we're not at the stage where it sort of matters about, you know, killing power off as such. And I was going to replace these guys so that we do have a kind of bit of manual coal going on, but let's make it a 6er. Okay. We are doing the shooting speeds, as I say. It's best, I would say, or my opinion on it is that it's best to kind of do your best to be ahead of the power curve, really. I do want to get heavy armor next, though, because steel will be soon. This blueprint, obviously, I don't know if I've explained it or not, but it has like military stuff on it. But having done a couple of kind of tests with it, it's sort of best to only put that in if I really need to. Default biter settings are, especially with the number of trees that I've got in the grassland, probably not going to warrant building it, so it saves us a lot of time, basically. Do I want to be cheeky and take them as well? Because we're going to need loads of inserters and belts, obviously, to do the thing. I might actually maybe make that 3 stacks on that one as well. I got my own. It's a bit weird doing this as a let's play and doing it in the way I do live streams, because it's I keep looking over to try and look at if chat said anything, but obviously there is no chat. So yeah, bit confusing. I'm also recording this in all sorts of ways and all sorts of fashions that I can do. I want to try out some different editing things, but also I need to start using the camera properly and actually use its full HDMI output now that I've got cables. So what I'm thinking is that we perhaps want to position. I'm going to do them for space. I probably won't actually build them in quite in this way. But I think we want to kind of position ourselves to have some expandable... Are those cliffs? No, they're rocks. Perfect. Some expandable, builds, basically. And I'm thinking, say, this area is probably going to be good for doing the actual moley thing. But it does mean removing a bunch of trees so that we can access these initial resources. So, let's put it high enough up, at the very least, that we can avoid this lake to a degree. Eventually, obviously, we'll get landfill. Normal landfill is just there. There's no change to that, in case you're confused. But if we say we would have, say, a stack of iron, a stack of copper, and a sort of a feedy back into itself one for steel, and then we maybe do a stone brick one. I can't see the top of them, can I? Okay, let's just quickly dash up there. You can build. You sort of used to be able to build. I don't know. It feels inconsistent, but I'm sure it is. But you didn't used to be able to sort of properly put blueprints in the fog of war, and you kind of can now. But sometimes it doesn't seem to work, and I don't know what it is that I'm pressing that makes it not work. Is that what we need, basically? So we would have iron, copper, and then we can put a build of sort of green circuits. I don't know if I'm going to bother belting pipe and gears. It's kind of I don't know. It's something you need a lot of for engines, but otherwise it's often a bit pointless belting them, in my opinion. But it's like things like steam engines. You see, you can put one either side and it can just grab what it needs, an iron one gears one on one side and pipes one on the other. And it's only when it gets more complicated with like electric engines and stuff that it's used to have them belted, but at that stage, is it just better to add them on, sort of thing. So I think I'm not going to do that, but we shall see. What I do want to do is make sure I've got some shotgun ammo and kind of take some... Oops. Oh, I keep doing that as well. So one of the key rebinds, and I really don't agree with this, has been to the military one. And tab now just brings up your map. So tab is not switch weapon anymore. C is switch weapon. And if you're experienced in Factorio and you're like, wait, doesn't C do, forced fire? Forced fire is now shift space. So space is still fire, the auto-targeted fire. But if you want to do the forced fire, it doesn't really matter for this. In fact, let's switch over to that. So, if I try and shoot a tree, it won't let me with a submachine gun. I would have to normally press C. But as you can see, C is changing weapons. Instead, what you have to do is hold Shift and press space. Oh, I was too far away. Not pointing in the right direction. But yeah, so it's now Shift space to do forced fire. I do not agree with that change at all. I don't really see the point. Because it's not like H and V flip and glip where you're gaining a functionality. It's all still the same, from what I can tell. It just means that anyone who's got the muscle memory for changing tab will find themselves opening the map and dying to biters rather than killing them, which is a bit of a pointless change. Cool. Okay, so we have to take that as well. But I'm not going to do the bottom half. I'll just do like the top half, and I'll do like one of them for now, so that we can get the thing up and running. And I say this one needs to go backwards, doesn't it? So if we do what? If we do say, when I say backwards, what do I mean? I mean cutting that off and popping it there. And then flipping that round so that the output goes that way. And connecting it in there. So this then will be the steel coming out rather than iron plate. Excellent. Cool. This is my design that I usually do. It's a bit more expensive and finicky to do, but it is upgradable in a much more sort of simple way. That I've never really done. I always sort of use it and then I build somewhere else, for steel furnaces. In this, because I want to keep them all, it's actually kind of had a new lease of life, shall we say, as it is actually kind of now quite useful and important to give some grenades or some poison capsules. Okay, to upgrade basically. Okay, so I will kind of build some of this out as best as I can, and we'll probably come back after a quick edit. Okay, so we have just done a couple of military-related tech. So we've got the heavy armour now available. Also, we need to produce steel and grenades, which is nice for tree clearance. Although I have obviously built where I would want to be grenading, so not so particularly useful there. But yeah, still chugging away doing the actual build. Okay, so that's the iron one done. Well, not done, but close as. Let's pop in copper. Something quite zen about filling out a blueprint by hand. Not that I'd want to do it for the entire game, but knowing that it's something that just works as well. Tried and not that a lot of my blueprints work, but a tried and tested one. This just get a little bit chugging. Steel chugging is the idea with this, because it's the one I'm going to connect up first. Because steel is another one with a what do you call it? Do a thing to unlock the research. What do they actually probably call that? Conditional? I don't know. Do you know what the proper term is? Okay, so it will make some if we can provide it with some coal and etc. What I want to do really is kind of have a single coal line going across. That's a bit better. And so that we have a little bit of kind of backup for the old night, but yeah, is that too far? That's too far. Brilliant. No, still too far. What's the... Right, can't do it there. There, maybe then. Okay. You're gonna be like that, are you? So I built this slightly too close to the coast. It's nothing a bit of spaghetti won't fix. This design does not do the whole thing that's super popular of, you know, half siding, 2 inserter belt thing, blah blah blah. It's a lot more basic than that. It's more designed around being able to replace the coal lines, basically, with a regular belts that are regular. Now, can I hop across there? I think I can. One of my revelations when I was doing all these blueprints was you really don't need much coal to do smelting, and when you get steel furnaces, the whole thing gets even better. It's like, yeah, it's a very small amount of coal you need. I mean, obviously we got 4 miners on it, so it's not exactly chugging away, but yeah. So this is where we... Is this right? Yeah, this is where we want to connect steel. Okay. Oh, iron plate 4 steel. Let's do that. So I'll probably pick back up again once I've put that in place. Oh, I suppose I should say another change they've done. I'm not as anti this one, but another change they've done is if you've got a throwable, you want to launch a throwable, you have to right click. So previously you would left click in order to, you know, you would have the thing in your hand like that, and you would left click, and I'm left clicking there, nothing's happening. In order to throw it, you need to right. I'm not going to do it because it would waste a grenade, but you would, you have to now right click. And again, another thing that's killed me more than on more than a few occasions. That one I'm not too as against, because it does sort of save, I think, some accidental discharges, shall we say, accidental weapons free type situations. Cool, so we'll just do... I need to sort out them later, but... So this is really just... in fact, there we go, so... Left click doing nothing. Right click throws the grenade, yeah. Because reasons. So we want to be going across there, maybe. I do have a base that you can use. I could lay down and use the bootstrap up to... well, up to blue science, basically. It's sort of that, but it's a bit of a mixed bag again, because it's a bit of a faff to build, but it's a long way short of building everything, and so it's sort of like it becomes a bit useless, basically. Okay, so that should slowly trickle up. I need to put in this balancer. I am going to leave it disconnected here for the time being, because I might, and there as well, because I might have messed things up. So what we're going to want then is a line of copper. Let's ghost it in rather than do that. Another line of iron. So we really want sort of copper. I think this might be the time we're taking out the ship, unfortunately. Oh, and then ideally we want another iron there. And that being copper. Across there. Should get another radar in there, really, shouldn't I? So it is quite confusing for me, the whole sort of pressing the E, and it brings up this ghosty menu. It makes sense in a way, as it were, but I think I prefer it to be a little bit more consistent with, that this is proper blueprinting and it works exactly the same way as blueprinting, which it kind of doesn't at the moment. It's not a disaster. Oh, they're both out, so we might go and replace them. I picked up a load of iron because I want to make some drills for everything. One more. But these would need to connect there for copper and there for iron. Get rid of that. And then if we D tree. Oh, I've run out of grenades. Right, the coal. I think maybe we'll put our first slot on the coal so that we get a bit more. How are we doing with power? Yeah, no probs. That's a nice increase there. Radering. Should we pick this up? We might as well. Because I think we'll be at a stage where having... Yeah, we'll have... stone... what do we call it? Huh. Furnaces up and running anyway. Take that back that one, I think. That's right. And let's see this. Oh. Yeah, I'm afraid these are gonna have to go. I usually like to leave all of the ship detritus around, but it's just in the way, I'm afraid. Just in the way. Okay, we've done the tool belt. So this is what I'm hoping to produce. Obviously I'm not going to because I forgot to connect the things by checking them, but we want to get more military stuff really, so we will queue these up, let it chug away on them, eat through all the sciences that we built while we work away. I would quite like... Oh, another thing that another tiny little quality of life change that I don't believe they mentioned in Friday Facts is you can now move things in the research queue. Look. So you have these little outs. It's a little clunky, you know, you can't just drag them, you know, you can't do that sort of thing, but you can move them up and down. During the LAN party, it was it was kind of ridiculous because it gives everyone a notification when any one player moves something, and it's like literally it seemed to be that it would tell you both. So if I move a research up in the queue, that means I'm also moving technically moving something down in the queue, and it seemed to do like notify you on everything basically. So it was like, oh, this person's moved it up, but also it would tell you, oh, this person's moved it down, because I say that's basically the same action. So yeah, it was ridiculous. Someone would change the queue, and it would literally go, you know, notification, 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 notification. You know, the noise it makes, and it was just, it was like, if someone was making a lot of edits, it was just off the charts, really, the amount of noise it made. I put that in nice and close, and it don't really make sense, does it? Because I can't then put a belt down the back of it. So I think I need to move it one tile over, as they say. Obviously, I could use things like Super Force build on this, but it's sort of not really worth it at the moment. I will be leaving those miners in there, though, because we don't want to cut ourselves off. Oh, ship's in the way anyway. So, this gives us, I think, obviously the iron is later, but gives us what we're after. Let us see about more iron plate. We're starting to run low on these miners as well, what they can access. Okay. Let's top up science, and well, actually, let's go and fix that belt. So we've got iron plate coming in there, which will then come out as iron ore going in there, which will come out as iron plate, which will turn into steel and get us that research. I mean, we obviously don't really have enough. I can't put enough miners on to actually support 2 belts, but we kind of don't need 2 belts yet. We just need to make enough, and we can sort of balance them as we need to. I do have hooker balancers that I always use. Okay, let us see. How are we doing? We need, I think, more long-handed, so let's go and get a bit of iron. I didn't make those though, did I? That was what I was actually going to do. Right, so we need more boilers, I think, just temporarily. Which means more iron, which means more coal. We will get automated very soon, I promise. But for now, it's just quicker and easier and simpler to get it all done by hand. So, we need a couple more of them. In fact, 4 more of them, 2 more of them, some pipes, got some inserters. I will then queue up a bunch more, bunch more power poles. Let's have some lights. Oh, big old stack of to do. Okay, so I think, yeah, so we did we got steel axe technology. So one of the things to note on that, when you're doing these contextual researches, so the researches where you can unlock them from doing a thing, you can do those in parallel without having researches on the go. So it doesn't, stop them or pause them or anything like that. They just happen while this is on. So effectively you can have parallel research going on, which is pretty dang cool actually. What do we want next then? I guess really we need to be making sure we're able to do lots of cool things, but we want these to chug through while we're working. I would quite like, what would I quite like? I think, because what I need to set up is like a little science build as well, just to be able to do some. I have done some experimenting with that, and I've got some ideas, but it all got a bit clunky, if I'm honest. I guess what we really need to head for is oil, don't we? So what gets us to oil? I think it's, well, actually we could do with a car. Let's put these researches on so that we can get a car as soon as we can, and then we can go exploring. Exploring is really fun in this, so it's one of the little benefits of the improvement to the map gen. It's actually, particularly in the car, it's really fun to actually drive around and sort of use the natural pathways and all this sort of stuff to, go on a little driving adventure. Basically, it's quite cool, really, in my opinion. Okay, we have some steel. I think we did the armour, so we can see if we can make... Yeah, we can make some heavy armour. Cool. And I don't think any of these are... Oh, there's no coal on that. That's interesting. Why is that? Bit of missing belt. Okay. So if we hook this up, we'll get some copper made. And we want to connect more iron. Okay, so got plenty more miners. Do I want to risk it for a biscuit and pull this up? I think I do. This is like the priority one because it's iron plate, obviously. Idea will be to say, or did I say? I'm not intending to do like full belts going onto the thing. I'm going to do half belts. It's going to be a half belt of iron, half belt of copper. And that'll like kind of free up space, as it were. It's not quite the right phrase, but stuff like that. That'll free up space essentially to, capacity rather, not free up space, free up capacity to be able to build whatchamacallit, green circuits and you know, I can and to use it for science and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that makes sense. Yes, we have stood here with the iron ore ready to come in. We can also chuck this in here. So get you all making things. Now we probably want to build these in if we can. So yes, so as you can see, we have some friends over there. I think given the time, we'll probably go and kind of deal with them. It's just like a last job. We do now have this heavy armour, so we're slightly more protected. I should really make some more turrets though, so we want to see how much iron plate we've actually managed to make. Looks plentiful to me. Looks plentiful to me. There we go, 100 there. That's what we're after. Okay, so we've now got. Have we done a chest of shame? I don't think we've done a chest of shame. Filthy burner text. So let's pop you there. We want that and those in there. Oh, and the pistol as well. Cool. Right, as I say, this is preemptive really, but as you can see, I'm literally about to start getting pollution hitting them, and that means we will not be going very long without an attack. So it's best, I think, for these guys to just get rid of them. I might leave the worms because I'm really just trying to guard against attacks coming in. Reports coming in of a heavy attack. Should be further south, shouldn't we? See if we can get you in without angering anyone. Nip over. Oops. And get spat on. That's what I'm going to do. Put you there? Yeah, okay. Let's try and put that in there, but I suspect we will start getting gold on. And sneak one in there. So I'll probably just leave the worms for now. It won't be that long, in theory, before we have a car. Okay, so we'll call that an episode there. Obviously, we will continue this next time, in the sense, continue this build, as in finish it off. I might effectively skip that, because, it's just filling stuff out, and we'll pick up properly when I actually start building the more interesting things. So we'll have probably green circuits in. In fact, let's put some tags on to show you. So we'll probably do green circuits in here. Okay, I will probably not do an iron gear wheel and pipe build. I will do them as in because we need them, but I will not put them in onto a belt basically, because I think that'll save me a belt that I can use for other things. The idea is kind of to build this up to the degree that it will last us for a very long time, and eventually obviously we will swap it with bot mauling, but just to keep it going for a very long time is what I'm really after. As you see, we are opening up more iron deposits that way, and this is a nice area I think to build a pretty big mall with like a starter science, so we can get red, green, military and blue science on the go, and that should give us what we need to get to bots, and then bots will get us the ability to build something along the lines of a proper bus, which we will aim to be able to produce all of the Malvis sciences, including space science, which is where we get into the whole rocketry, and that hopefully is where the live streams will pick up. The overall plan with this, if you've not seen one of these videos before, is that this is the map that I will carry forward into a live streaming series where I will be playing through Space Age on stream. If it goes up in time, there will be a Q&A blog post that you can go on and basically ask you questions about Space Age. I'm going to do a video and a live stream on the 14th to answer questions that I can. The developers have asked that we don't talk about the final. I need to actually pause this. We need to not to talk about the final planet and the end game. That is obviously just a request I could do if I really wanted to, but I want to hold back on that. I think it's fair on you guys as well, because I think they've been so unspoiled by Friday Facts that it would be something you could go into yourselves and enjoy the surprises of. I guess the other thing to note, as I say, is that we will hopefully take this map. I have other maps if we don't, basically, that I can use. But if I manage to get all of this done, this video series will turn into a live stream series. And the idea is that there will be a new blog post on the YouTube channel where you can pick which planet we go to first. It will be a poll, and you can select which planet you want to go first. I will go to the one with the most votes. If there's no votes, I'll just pick. I will then do that on the first day. So the 21st is the planned release date. I will go to that planet on the 21st. I, at the moment, have work commitments that mean I will only be able to stream for a couple of hours at most. But then I will pick the second planet that you vote for as in the second most popular for the second day, and the third day we will go to the third most popular planet, so that you can see what those gameplays are about, what that looks like. And I say they will be short streams because of work commitments. I then have a week off, basically, and we will pick up probably the series as well to properly play it through, and we will see how far we get in a week's worth, in quotes, of live streams. So yes, so that's it, and that's the explanation for this series. If you have been watching, I hope you've enjoyed it, and you might consider coming back for another one. I've been Trismegistus. This has been Factorio Space Age. Thanks for watching. Cheers.